Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this regularly scheduled council meeting of March 22, 2021, which I'm calling to order. For the members of the public joining us, you could view this council meeting, which will also be recorded through Facebook Live, Hartford Public Access, Channel 96 Comcast. Thank you all for joining us. Mr. Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Councilwoman Bermudez.
Present.
Councilman Clark.
Present.
Councilman Gale.
Here.
Councilman LeBron.
Present.
Councilman Mitchum. Councilman Mitchum. Councilwoman Rosado.
Present.
Councilwoman Rossetti.
Here.
Councilman Sanchez.
Present.
Councilwoman Surgeon.
Here.
You have a quorum.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. And now our town clerk will lead us on to the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Mr. Majority Leader, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. Through you, I'd like to make a motion that we approve the minutes of the March 8th, 2021 meeting.
Second the motion.
Motion has been made and properly second. Are there any discussions on the minutes? Any discussions on the minute? For the record, I'd like to reflect that Councilman Josh Mitchum has joined us.
Thank you.
There being none, Mr. Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Councilwoman Bermudez.
Yes.
Councilman Clark.
Yes.
Councilman Gale.
Yes.
Councilman LeBron.
Yes.
Councilman Mitchum.
Yes.
Councilwoman Rosado.
Yes.
Councilwoman Rossetti.
Yes.
Councilman Sanchez.
Yes.
Councilwoman Surgeon.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Mr. Majority Leader, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. Through you, I'd like to make a motion to replace the following items on consent. Item number 1, Mayor Bronin with a company resolution authorizing the budget transfer of $200,000 from the Office of Corporation Counsel to the Office of the Chief Operating Officer, which will be used for the hiring of civilian police review board's Inspector General and associated costs. Item number 10, a Quality of Life and Public Safety Committee resolution confirming the appointment of Deborah Davis to the Civilian Police Review Board. Item number 13, Operations Management Budget and Government Accountability Committee with a company resolution requesting that the Court of Common Council create a task force to evaluate the prospects of implementing a UBI pilot program in the city of Hartford. Item number 15, Operations Management Budget and Government Accountability Committee with a company resolution authorizing the city to accept funding provided by an Urban Act grant and administered by the Connecticut Department of Energy and Environmental Protection. This award of $1 million is for the planning, design, permitting, and construction of improvements at Colt Park and Pope Park, specifically playing fields and related facilities. Item number 17, Public Works, Parks, Recreation, and Environment Committee with a company resolution confirming the reappointment of Donna Swar as a representative of Friends of Colt Park and appointment of Marion Rome as a representative of Friends of Keeney Park to the Parks and Recreation Advisory Commission.
Second the motion.
A motion has been made and properly second. Are there any discussions? Any discussions? There being none, Mr. Clerk.
Hello.
I apologize. I didn't see you.
That's okay. It's kind of hard when we do Zoom. I do object to item number 1. That should have been sent to the OMB committee. That item basically is the funding for the position for the Civilian Review Board. That item should have been sent to the OMB committee for discussion, not transfer the funds from the Corporation Counsel's office to the Chief Operating Officer. We don't know basically the salary range unless when I looked at the posting, it would have been nice if that item was be sent to us for discussion. So I do object for item number 1 being on the consent.
Councilman Sanchez?
So, just a question to Attorney Rifkin. Would this be a motion that needs to be declared to sever or take that off of the consent?
Through you, Council President, if a member objects to an item being on consent, it is automatically removed and can be taken up for action. There is no need to second that, nor offer a motion or vote on it.
Are there any other discussions? Any other discussions? So Attorney Rifkin, a motion would have to be entertained to move this to the action calendar?
Through you, Madam President, no. It is just taken off the consent calendar.
Okay. For the record, Councilman Josh Mixtum?
Thank you. Just a follow-up. Does that mean, and maybe this was obvious and I missed it, does that mean when it comes off the consent calendar that it is automatically up for action?
Yes, it is.
Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Sanchez?
So I thought that once it's off the consent calendar, is either for action or it can be referred to a committee.
Well, through you, Madam President, motion hasn't even been made for item number 1 since now it is a member of the council objective for consent calendar. So respectfully, we would have to wait for the item to be called as to the motion is going to be made.
Thank you for clarification.
Thank you. There being no other discussions, Mr. Clerk, could you please call the roll?
We are, for the record, is item number 10, 13, 15, and 17 is for the consent calendar. Councilwoman Bermudez.
Yes.
Councilman Clark.
Yes.
Councilman Gale.
Yes.
Councilman LeBron.
Yes.
Councilman Mitchum.
Yes.
Councilwoman Rosado.
Yes.
Councilwoman Rossetti.
Yes.
Councilman Sanchez.
Yes.
Councilwoman Surgeon.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Mr. Majority Leader, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. Through you, I'd like to motion that we do the following items. Item number 6, the Planning, Economic Development, and Housing Committee, communication concerning the annual report submitted on behalf of the Planning and Zoning Commission for the City of Hartford, mandated by city ordinance and recounts the activity of the commission for 2020. Item number 7, Quality of Life and Public Safety Committee, with accompanying resolution requesting that the Director of the Department of Emergency Services and Telecommunications, along with Hartford's Chief Operating Officer, provide an updated report at the next scheduled Quality of Life and Public Safety Committee meeting, the assistance for firefighter grant. Item number 8, Public Works, Parks, Recreation, Environment Committee, communication requesting a presentation update regarding the planning and implementation of corrective procedures to improve the NIREC field reservation system. Item number 9, a Planning, Economic Development, Housing Committee with accompanying resolution adopting the City of Hartford's Complete Streets Plan. This plan will complement the bicycle plan, and together these documents provide a guide for transforming our city streets. This plan reflects the approximately a year of effort by members of the Complete Streets Task Force led by City Bike and Pedestrian Coordinator Sandy Fry. Item number 11, Operations Management, Budget, and Government Accountability Committee with a resolution to reappoint Ted C. as council appointee to the Internal Audit Commission. Item number 12, Operations Management, Budget and Government Accountability Committee, with a company resolution to appoint Cynthia Marulanda to the Internal Audit Commission on council's designated appointee. Item number 14, Operations Management, Budget and Government Accountability Committee, with a company resolution requesting that Max State Square LLC and FB State Square LLC report on or before March 1st, 2021, consistent with its obligation under the tax relief. Item number 16, Labor, Education, Workforce, and Youth Development Committee, with a company resolution that the Court of Common Council review the holiday schedule as described in Chapter 2, Articles Division 7, Section 392 of the Code, with city labor contracts and other practices to determine whether and how to include Juneteenth as a holiday. Item number 19, communication from Health and Human Services Committee concerning annual reports submitted on behalf of the Advisory Commission on Policy for the City of Hartford. This annual report is mandated by city ordinance and recounts the activities of the commission for 2020. Item number 20, report from Operations Management, Government, Budget and Government Accountability Committee, with a company resolution requesting that the Court of Common Council create a task force to evaluate the prospects of implementing a UBI program in the city of Hartford. Item number 21, report from Operations Management, Budget and Government Accountability Committee, with a company resolution requesting that Max State Square LLC and FPE State Square LLC provide a report before March 1st, 2021, consistent with its obligations under the tax relief. Item number 22, report from Operations Management, Budget and Government Accountability Committee, with a company resolution to reappoint Ted as council's appointee to the Internal Audit Commission. Item number 23, report from the Health and Human Services Committee, with a company resolution requesting that the mayor's office provide more consistent administrative support dedicated to translation services for Hartford's Puerto Rican and Hispanic communities. Item number 24, report from the Health and Human Services Committee, with a company resolution. The Court of Common Council calls on representatives from the Hartford Public Library and the mayor's office to provide an update on progress of this taxpayer-funded initiative, and that the city's Office of Community Engagement provide a biannual report to the Court of Common Council on its efforts to re-engage and educate Hartford's refugee. And finally, item number 25, report from the Health and Human Services Committee, with a company resolution requesting that the mayor of Hartford, the Hartford Health Department, local government officials, state legislators, and the Capital Region Council Krog take the lead and collectively dig out the causes of homelessness and work systematically to put in place a process for all 169 towns to actively contribute and participate in an issue that affects it.
I second the motion.
Motion has been made and properly second. Are there any discussions? There being none, Mr. Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Councilwoman Bermudez,
Yes.
Councilman Clark,
Yes.
Councilman Gale,
Yes.
Councilman LeBron,
Yes.
Councilman Mitchum,
Yes.
Councilwoman Rosado,
Yes.
Councilwoman Rossetti,
Yes.
Councilman Sanchez,
Yes.
Councilwoman Surgeon.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Mr. Majority Leader, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. Through you, I'd like to motion that we following items to the committees. Item number 2, Mayor Bronin, with a company resolution confirming the reappointment of Brian Gallagher and appointment of Naisha McCauley as the representative of Bushnell Park, Friends of Bushnell Park, to the Parks and Recreation Advisory Commission. To this will go to the Parks, Public Works, Recreation Environment Committee. Item number 3, to the Operations Management, Budget and Government Accountability, Mayor Bronin, with the company resolution authorizing the City of Hartford to enter into a 10-year tax abatement agreement with Hartford Assisted Living LP to support the affordable rental housing located at 90 Retreat Avenue, Hartford, Connecticut, 06106, known as the Retreat Assisted Living Facility. Item number 4, to the Quality of Life and Public Safety Committee, Mayor Brunner with a company resolution authorizing the acceptance of a grant award under the 2020 Project Safe Neighborhoods Grant Program from the Office of the United States Attorney, District of Connecticut, in the amount of $55,705.00. Item number 5, to the Committee of the Whole. Mayor Brunner with a company resolution confirming the appointments of Ms. Yvette Bello, Mr. Jim Schmerling, and Pastor A.J. Johnson to the Hartford Board of Education. Item number 26, to the Health and Human Services Committee. It's an ordinance amending Chapter 27, itinerant vendors, street vendors, and food trucks of the Hartford Municipal Code. This has a hearing date of Monday, April 19th, 2021.
Second the motion.
Sorry, we just had a technical difficulty where I was not able to hear. Councilman Clark, are you done with the items? And
Yes.
was there a motion? My screen just went blank, so
The motion has been made and was properly seconded.
thank you. Are there any discussions? Any discussions? There being none, Mr. Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Councilwoman Bermudez,
Yes.
Councilman Clark,
Yes.
Councilman Gale,
Yes.
Councilman LeBron,
Yes.
Councilman Mitchum,
Yes.
Councilwoman Rosado,
Yes.
Councilwoman Rossetti,
Yes.
Councilman Sanchez,
Yes.
Councilwoman Surgeon.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Mr. Majority Leader, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. Through you, I'd like to make a motion that we postpone the following item. Item number 18, an ordinance amending Chapter 2, appointment head requirements, Section 850, residency requirements of the municipal code.
I second the motion.
A motion has been made and properly second. Are there any discussions? Any discussions? There being none, Mr. Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Councilwoman Bermudez,
I'm sorry, I did have a question. This was
Oh.
to postpone? I couldn't hear. What is
Yes.
the motion?
Motion is for postponement of item number 18.
Yes.
Councilman Clark,
Yes.
Councilman Gale,
Yes.
Councilman LeBron,
Yes.
Councilman Mitchum,
Yes.
Councilwoman Rosado,
Yes.
Councilwoman Rossetti,
Yes.
Councilman Sanchez,
Yes.
Councilwoman Surgeon.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Mr. Majority Leader, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. Through you, I'd like to make the motion that we place item number 1 up for action. Mayor Brunner with a company resolution authorizing a budget transfer of $200,000 from the Office of the Corporation Counsel to the Office of the Chief Operating Officer, which will be used for the hiring of the civilian review boards and associated cost.
I second the motion.
Motion has been made and properly second. Councilwoman Surgeon.
I just want to talk to the community. Oops. Oh, hello. Yeah, I'm having technical difficulties also. I know we appropriated these funds in the budget when we approved the 2021 fiscal year budget, and these funds were in the budget. Basically, as a council person, I do believe that this is a simple transfer of funds. No actions will be taken to be sent to the OMB committee. But one of the things I would like to see happen more from the administration is information being shared more with council. So I will have a better understanding of what I'm voting on. I did read the resolution. I did know it was a transfer of funds for that position, which I wholeheartedly supported when we did the Civilian Review Board new ordinance. But in the future, I would like the administration to explain to council, all these information so we have and we're knowledgeable before we vote on something. Thank you.
Councilwoman Bermudez.
Thank you. Through you, Council President. This question is for Councilwoman Surgeon. Councilwoman Surgeon, earlier in this meeting, you mentioned that you would like for this to be sent to committee, and I just wanted clarification to see if you were going to be making a motion on the floor for that so that it could be sent to committee.
No, I will not make a motion on the floor for the Center Committee because this is just as simple. We did approve this appropriation in the this fiscal year budget for that item. So basically the monies are there, but the monies were placed in the Corporation Counsel's office. Now the monies are being transferred over to the office where this individual would be working. I have no problems with that. My issue was, again, having the knowledge base of this information so I can vote intelligently and I can articulate this information when I receive phone calls from constituents who are listening and saying, what is this money going to be used for? Why is it being done? So I can articulate why and what I'm voting on. So I just wanted us to make that clear to the community and residents who are listening that these funds were appropriated in this fiscal year budget for this position, and the person currently are being interviewed to be hired to start working when the ordinance takes effect at the end of the month.
Councilman Clark, followed by Councilman Mixtum.
Thank you, Madam President. Through you, I think it would be helpful to if a representative of the mayor's office, maybe Attorney Rifkin, can just elaborate on the what the associated cost lies. I know the resolution calls for the transfer for the Inspector General because the Inspector General will be placed in the Office of Equity and Opportunity to provide support to the Civilian Police Review Board, which this department will have hand-to-hand assistance with CPRB because the staff person who is the city's liaison of the CPRB, of the Office of Equity and Opportunity, does staff CPRB, but maybe the Corporation Council can shed some light to speak to Councilwoman Surgeon as she talked about the salary range so that there can be some clarity.
Through you, Council President. So when you all authorized the $200,000 for the fiscal 21 budget, it went to my office as really a placeholder. And when it was determined, in fact, that the Police Review Board and the Inspector General would report for administrative purposes only to the Office of Equity and Opportunity, it seemed appropriate as we get closer to hiring an Inspector General that the money be placed where the office will reside. That's the purpose of the transfer. As Councilwoman Surgeon mentioned, there are interviews that have taken place. I don't know whether a decision has been made about making an offer to any one of the candidates interviewed. But as she also pointed out to the community, the new ordinance takes effect on October 31st. We felt it appropriate to transfer the money so that once that individual is hired, they in fact can be paid. The position is established in the civil service. There is a band, a pay band range. Quite frankly, I don't recall what it is. I think it's at the maximum $121,000. I might not be correct about that, but there is a pay range. And so as part of this process, an individual will be offered the position. If they accept it, their compensation will be set commensurate to experience and training. And it is out of that $200,000 that the individual will be paid. It is also intended that some of the administrative costs, a small amount of administrative costs, for example, for training of members of the CPRB, will come out of those funds, and eventually the hiring of potentially an assistant inspector general.
Thank you, Attorney Rifkin. Councilman Josh Mixtum.
Thank you, Council President. I think actually Attorney Rifkin answered most of my questions, but this is another probably for him through you, Council President. Is the determination of that pay range, how did that happen? And is that a thing that in fact council could exert control over by resolution or ordinance?
Through you, Council President, in the ordinance amendment that you unanimously passed, it establishes the Inspector General position as being in the civil service of the city. And so therefore, to answer your correct question directly, no. The range is established through human resources, again, based upon the particular position and the establishment of a pay band range.
Thank you.
Thank you, Attorney Rifkin. And for transparency purposes, we are still interviewing for the position of Inspector General. So because we're still interviewing, no offer has been made yet. This is a very transparent process. So once interviews are finished, we will again speak with council and members of the public. Are there any other discussions? Councilman Josh Mixtum.
Very quickly, just to follow up on what you just said, Council President, who's doing the interviewing?
The interviews, based on the ordinance that passed, is the mayor, Council President, myself, and the chair of the Civilian Police Review Board.
Thanks.
You're welcome. So this item is up for action. Councilwoman Surgeon did not have a motion. So with are there any other concerns or questions, discussions? There being none, Mr. Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Councilwoman Bermudez.
Yes.
Councilman Clark.
Yes.
Councilman Gale.
Yes.
Councilman LeBron.
Yes.
Councilman Mitchum.
Yes.
Councilwoman Rosado.
Yes.
Councilwoman Rossetti.
Yes.
Councilman Sanchez.
Yes.
Councilwoman Surgeon.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. That concludes our meeting for this evening. I want to thank the members of the public. Please continue to social distance and be safe. Good night, everyone.
Bye.
Good night.
Be the one to start the conversation.